Hi, YouTube. We are about to go live. Don't blink. It is us. We are back.
There was a time when the world turned their back on men. Men with a dream and savage yearning within them. Legions compelled by passion that knows no boundary. A consuming flame that defies plausible explanation. Battling the forces of domestication, they find the courage to band together to experience the awesome power of being men.
I say this with all due respect.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Tonight's broadcast of The Masculine Feminist has been commandeered by the secret society No Ma'am.
I'm gonna go to a place where I can get a shot and a beer, steak, man. Saying we can stop, get pancakes, and then we'll get laid, all right?
Why do you drink ice cold beer on a hot day?
Mr. Clement, what else are you gonna do with it?
To alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
The Yankees are champions of baseball. It's a power goal.
This is Cave Crew Radio.
Indeed, it is. Welcome back, everybody. I apologize. We've had some sort of not a steady schedule going on this year, but this here is my inhaler. If I laugh too much, I will be inhaling on this. I've had swine flu, pneumonia, whatever is North Korea has sent upon the free world. I indeed have had it, but we were hell bent and determined to have a show tonight. So Cave Crew Radio is the name of the show. I'm live in my cave in Windsor, Ontario, Canada, and with the music cueing, I do believe I hear Queens, New York.
That's right, live from Queens, New York. I am Sir Big B, and to prove I'm also one of the cool kids, that's my inhaler right there. So,
well, you've got one too.
I have asthma, so yes, I always have an inhaler. So I'm one of the cool kids, and
I don't find it cool at all. I find it a major pain in the ass when I'm gasping for air.
You get used to it. I mean, I've had an inhaler for decades. You know, it's just become part of me.
Of course, the doctor, the first thing he says to me is, you should quit smoking, but
well, yeah,
it's not on the table. I don't intend to give up pussy either.
I will tell you something I'm excited about that I just heard prior to coming on air. I don't know if you know about it, but the XFL is making a comeback.
Oh, Vince McMahon in 2020.
I can't wait.
No half times. I mean, do you remember when it was on the first time?
I absolutely remember when it was on the first time.
It was pretty cool. Was there a team in New York or?
Yeah, there was. I don't remember what they were called, but there was a team in New York. I actually had tickets to go see an XFL game, but then I decided not to because I remember it was in February sometime. It was fucking freezing. I was like, I'm not going to go watch an XFL game at Giant Stadium, freeze my balls off.
But, you know, before we went on air, we were talking, and we're talking now. Elton John is going on tour, and you know, all these old guys are. Vince McMahon has got to be 90.
And he's still in good shape, though.
And Triple H, I mean, even Shane came back, right?
Right.
They're all like just nipping to get this empire, which is exactly what it is.
Absolutely.
And he comes out and says, I am now starting my own sports streaming service. But why 2020?
He said, I saw part of the little press conference he did. He said 2 years will give them time to figure it out and get it right. So I guess he learned, because I mean, the first time the XFL came out, it was kind of hokey and stupid and shitty, and that's why it only lasted a year. So I guess he's taking a more serious approach this time, and there's not going to be gimmicks. It's just going to be pretty straightforward football with slight changes. So that's what he's concentrating on. That's why it's taking 2 years. Because
I will tell you, being ill, Jake and I watched the Monday Night Raw 25-year anniversary.
Right. I did not see it.
And they had, you name it, like all these X-Pac, you know, the guy that was in the porno
sure.
with China and Razor Ramon walking up there like some kind of a fucking zombie. They were all there. Undertaker, everybody. My favorite part of the whole night, Stone Cold. It's not a DDT. What was his move?
The Stone Cold Stunner.
Stone Cold Stunner stunned Shane McMahon and Vince McMahon.
Oh, really?
I'm telling you, the guys. Look, I know it's fake. I'm not. It's great entertainment, but I'm sitting there and I'm going, you can't stun Vince. His fucking plastic hip will snap.
He's still in good shape. I mean, you know, steroids does a lot for you. He's still in really good shape.
Kills a lot of people.
He what?
I say it kills a lot of people.
It certainly does, but he's going strong from it. Hulk Hogan's still going strong.
You think Vince was on steroids?
I think he admitted he was on steroids, didn't he?
I don't know. But how old is the guy? Someone Google it.
He's in his 70s. Now, remember when he went on trial? I mean, this was years ago when it was the whole big steroid thing. It was him and Hulk Hogan and a few other people about doing steroids and all that. I think he admitted then he did steroids.
Now, did Vince McMahon ever make a porno?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Because Hogan made one. I think they've all made one.
That's all just to get attention. Vince McMahon doesn't need attention. He's got tons of money.
Anyway, I don't want to leave this XFL, but can you bring in let me get his theme here. Go ahead.
Well, on the heels of the XFL, maybe there will be a team in London since the NFL goes there. I do believe I hear London calling, though. Do I?
Is Stu with us?
Yeah, with ya. This is London calling. It's Choo Choo Stu. Good evening, chaps.
He looks like he's like in the Blair Witch Project or something.
He's in like an actual cave, like just him and his microphone.
He's surrounded. He's surrounded by black. The only thing you see, he's like Max Headroom.
Now you remember when he first joined us? It was like in his car and all that. We always talk about that. This is how I pictured him looking back then.
Yeah,
just in complete darkness and just him sitting there all creepily.
That's exactly how I would have looked. But anyway, you two just talking about making a porno was what I heard.
We're still talking about
no, you were talking about making a porno. I think that's got to be on my bucket list.
You want to make a porno?
And I would like to be the pizza boy who delivers the.
Wait. Now you have to describe the scenario. Is it a MILF? Is it a young teen? Is it what's the woman of choice?
At my time of life, I'm definitely a MILF person, rather than rather than the teens have long passed me.
Okay, does she have all her limbs?
You're going for the bag milk.
But what she has to, I'll go for the bag milk. But what she has to do halfway through is take one of these and have a few puffs on her inhaler.
Ooh.
Wait, hold that up again. I missed it. Look at this. We're all part of the cool kids. We all have inhalers.
Ready for the Jake and I have been playing this game because we've both been sick for like so long. So we downloaded this zombie game. I sent it over to Stu. I don't know if he's playing it, but yeah, we're ready for this zombie invasion.
Stu, why do you have an inhaler?
Well, when I get a cold or a flu or something like that, quite often I get a chest infection. So it's reserved for those couple of weeks of the year when I'm feeling under the weather.
It's prescribed to you?
It's prescribed, but I usually get my daughter, because my son and my daughter have asthma. So if I run out, I take them to the doctors and say, can you give them a prescription for inhalers? Because theirs is free.
Oh, really? Mine is $70 with insurance. That's the copay.
Really?
Yeah.
Mine was $10. Jake, anyone under, I think it's 21 here, gets their medicine for free.
Isn't that nice?
But I have insurance, and we have confirmation that Vince McMahon is 73 years old.
73.
And listen, I'm not about to go try it, and I'm a good 23 years younger than him. I would not be stunned, even in an act of fun on a trampoline.
You wouldn't take the Stone Cold Stunner?
Fuck no, I'm too old for that shit. I have enough time getting out of bed in the morning.
Now Stu recently posted a British wrestling match. Would you take a big like avalanche or whatever it is, a body slam from the big haystacks dude?
I think that is Jerry Blackwell is who I think that is.
What's his name? The giant haystacks, the big haystacks. What is his name?
Giant haystacks.
Giant haystacks.
But Haystacks Calhoun died in like the 60s.
All right.
It wasn't the original. I think that was Jerry Blackwell.
See, with our wrestling back in the day, Giant Haystacks and Big Daddy only really had one move, probably between them.
I watched that entire match that you posted, and I don't think they actually did any moves. They kind of just went off the ropes and rammed into each other a couple of times, and that was basically it.
Yeah. Who's going to lose? Whose knees are going to give over?
Right.
But I used to go back in the day when I was probably about 10, 12 years old. I used to go around my grandmother's every Saturday afternoon, and we would stick the wrestling on. And anyone that got to fight Haystacks or Big Daddy, they would do all their moves on them and try and slam them and punch them and grip them and all that. And they would just stand there like a bloody tree.
So that basically in England, Big Daddy versus Haystacks was like Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan. It was like the two behemoths,
right? Was it what did they say all the time? The irresistible force meeting the immovable object. I think that's what Jesse Ventura would say all the time, or Gorilla Monsoon.
Remember the time that Big John Studd, he's like, I'll give 10 grand to anyone that can power slam me or whatever it is. And the only one that could do it was Andre the Giant.
Andre the Giant, right? That was Bobby the Brain Heenan who had that out. He had the bag full of money at every match.
And I remember when I was a kid, I used to go watch matches with Andre the Giant and Junkyard Dog, rest both their souls in peace, versus Big John Studd and King Kong Bundy. I think the only one alive now is King Kong Bundy. Yeah. But then as Andre went on, I don't know how they put that fucker in the ring. because he used to have to hold onto the rope
Mhm.
to hit somebody.
Well, yeah, it's
When he was a young man, he was fairly physical for a
it
giant.
was, yeah. Yeah, I saw something about the evolution of Andre, and they showed really early matches where he was in the ring and he was, bouncing off the ropes, and he was just a big dude that was bouncing off the ropes and making all these moves. And I guess as his disease, because he did have the disease of gigantism, so I guess as his disease grew, he became less and less mobile, to where he only did, again, like haystacks or whatever the other dude was called. He could only do a couple of things.
Big Daddy,
yeah. He could only do a couple of things, like late in his career, unfortunately.
Now
the worst thing for Big Daddy, his real name was Shirley Crabtree.
Really?
Yeah. His real name was Shirley.
Wow.
He was like a 500-pound gorgeous George.
Yes. Gorgeous George is exactly what he reminded me of.
Now, did you ever see the movie Henry Winkler, The Lover? Or The Wrestler, or whatever movie it was. Henry Winkler was a wrestler.
Like the Fonz you're talking about? Henry Winkler?
Yeah, no. Someone Google the Henry Winkler wrestling movie. I'll find it for you. Hang on. You guys talk.
Okay. I didn't know. You say Henry Winkler, I'm thinking of the Fonz.
Well, he was the Fonz.
Yeah, but I remember him in a wrestling movie.
Hang on, I'm going to tell you.
I saw him in a film the other night. I don't know what it was. It was playing on TV, and I thought I think of Henry Winkler as the Fonz, and that's it, really. And he was someone's grandfather in this film.
Yeah, I'd say he does, like, later on in his career after Happy Days, especially like I think more in the 90s or early 2000s, he had some good move. He had some good funny roles. Like he played really well in comedy.
He played a music teacher in one movie. He was the music teacher trying to save the music program. I don't know if it was School of Rock or. I think it was School of Rock.
It wasn't School. That was Jack Black.
No, but he was the music teacher that Jack Black was trying to save. Oh no! It was the one where Jack Black was the UFC guy.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
Okay, that's the name of the 1978 film. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, is called The One and Only.
Really, I don't know that film.
And Henry Winkler played several wrestlers, but
interesting.
It was actually directed by Carl Reiner, believe it or not. Anyway, back to the XFL really quick. Of course, we remember that it was a failure. It didn't go well. Do you remember the USFL?
Of course, that's where Doug Flutie played.
Herschel Walker.
Herschel Walker made his name in the USFL and then went to the NFL. I remember the Generals was the New York, New Jersey Generals.
Yeah, I thought that was gonna take off at one point. Now, is that the same league that had the London Monarchs? Because there was a world football, I remember at one point, and I remember seeing Barcelona playing the London Monarchs. Do you remember that, Stu?
Well, I know the London Monarchs are, but no, I don't remember that particular game.
I don't know.
The NFL has NFL Europe now, so they have teams all throughout Europe.
I'm Googling again here.
Yeah, so I know the NFL goes to London a couple of times a year to play, NFL games, but they also have a league called NFL Europe. It's in London, it's in Spain, it's various countries, and they do get some guys from NFL Europe that eventually will come and play in the NFL.
Here it is. There was a league called the WLAF. It was operated in 91 and 92. It had 6 U.S. teams, 1 Canadian team, and 3 European teams, including the London Monarchs. They played their home games, Stu, at Wembley Stadium. And in 1991, they won the first World Bowl at Wembley, beating the Barcelona Dragons 21-0.
Nice.
There you go. There you go.
We are full of fucking trivia tonight.
Oh,
You're educating me on my own team.
There you go.
I honestly, I just remember seeing it as a kid on, like Wide World of Sports or whatever the fuck it was.
And I'll tell you the one league that nobody really thought would take off, but really has taken off and it's holding its own is arena football.
Well, I love arena football. Is that still going on?
That's still going on. They're going strong. I mean, they're really holding their own, and they're not trying to compete with the NFL. They're just a league of their own. Where I think the other leagues like the World Football League, the USFL, the XFL, all tried to compete with the NFL. And obviously they're going to fail when you go up against the NFL. Arena Football League is just a league of their own. They're like, hey, we're just doing our thing. And they're going really well.
The other one that survived it, and I don't know how, because I've been to games and it's absolute shit, is the CFL.
Those fucking Toronto Argonauts.
It's just the most brutal. I love NFL. I enjoyed watching the games on the weekend, the drama, Tom Brady raising up as the fucking phoenix from the ashes and all that shit. But I like NCAA. I like the college. Same as basketball. I don't watch any basketball except for college. American college, like U.S. college.
I can't stand college sports. Do they have Canadian? No, obviously, I know they have Canadian
we have
college sports, but
there's like 30 people.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, because here, college basketball and college football are huge. Is it that way in Canadian colleges? Those leagues are...
Now, if you go to even a high school hockey game, you'll have 15, 2,000, 10,000 people,
right?
But that's hockey. But football, I mean, we only get 3 downs. You fuck up on the first down, you're fucked.
And you got what, 110 yards instead of 100 yards?
Yeah, you have less downs and you have to go further.
And you have isn't the field like 8.5 miles wide? It's like a ridiculously wide field.
It's a very offensive. And when you kick a punt, if the guy doesn't run it out, you get a point.
Really?
It's like playing fucking badminton. I hate it. And I'm Canadian. I absolutely hate Canadian football. I don't know why they don't adopt. The game is played with 4 downs on a 100-yard field. There's rules to be played.
Right.
I'm a Canadian, but rules are rules, right? And then you got Stu with the guys running around over there without even any equipment on.
So
and they all get in a circle and hug until someone farts and the ball pops out.
That's rugby. Rugby's a brutal sport.
That's a fucking... They're nuts.
Yeah,
well, you've only got to take a look at their faces and their ears.
They're all
the distortion of their nose and ears, and
they're all fucked up.
I don't know who they're trying to impress. And then you have the other people that go, "I'm too lazy to fucking walk to hit the ball. I'm going to ride the fucking horse and hit it with a croquet fucking
polo."
And how do you win that game, Stu? Is that like some Harry Potter?
I haven't got a clue. I've never seen a polo, and then they take it on water as well, don't they? The water polo.
Well, that's an Olympic sport.
That's a little different. Guys are fucking treading water and throwing a ball around. The one in England, you guys have I don't know. It's like the guys that used to hunt foxes all of a sudden decide let's play croquet on top of our horses.
Yeah, it's a skilled sport, though, isn't it?
I have maybe to you. I
don't know. I've never.
Well,
I'll give you.
I can't ride a horse, let alone hit a ball.
Well, see, I have a question. Going back to rugby, I have a question. Who's worse, in your experience, Stu? Rugby hooligans or soccer hooligans?
No, I don't think there is rugby hooligans.
Oh no, I thought there were.
No, people at rugby go there to watch the rugby. As far as I know, as you know, I'm not really a sporting fan, but football is terrible. For the hooligans.
Well,
they literally want to kill each other.
Well, they burn their stadiums down.
Like my kid plays soccer, and it's the only reason I watch it is because he's a keeper. So I go and I watch and I'm learning about soccer. But I watch over in Europe and they're fucking nuts.
Yeah,
it's like what's
on it now? They're trying to ban it. So, like a lot of these hooligans going to international games have been banned, and if they're spotted, they get arrested. And
well, I remember there was the one, we had the World Cup here in the US, 1992, 4, whatever year it was.
Yeah.
And Colombia was playing the US, and the US beat Colombia because the Colombian dude scored on his own net. They say it's an own goal, right? He mistakenly put it in his own net. He went back to Colombia and they killed him for it. He was murdered for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, holy shit, it's just a fucking game.
Oh, but people take it seriously. He's let his team down, hasn't he? And his country.
And then listen, guys, in the chat room, excuse me, they're asking about curling.
Curling is the most ridiculously fucking stupid. Any sport that you can go to Home Depot and buy a broom and you're in the sport is not a sport. Holy shit. They roll this fucking there's 9 people on the ice to do 2 things. One person slides this big stone thing with a hook on it down the ice. The other one's sweeping in front of it. Like, make sure there's no dirt there. So the fucking and there's 16 people yelling something. I don't know what they're yelling.
Faster!
Oh my god, curling is stupid.
But wait a minute. I gotta tell you though, and Stu has sent me like screenshots when he's sitting at home and shit. There is nothing more ridiculous than 40,000 people in an auditorium in England. 180.
I love watching darts.
But how do you see what the guy is fucking throwing from the top of the auditorium?
Well, they watch it on a big screen, don't they? But don't those people get behind their player? Those fans are brilliant.
Shit, is that and the guys sit there and they've got mugs of fucking beer.
No, but when they come on, they're like, when the boxer comes on to, here comes a hot stepper or whatever their anthem is as they come in. But these dart players do the same with a beer. It's more like orange juice or some kind of power drink rather than beers these days.
Oh, they're with probably cocaine in or something.
No, but in the day they'll be drinking like the same with snooker. They'll be drinking like vodka and tonics and 7 or 8 pints of beer.
I was going to say, if you're watching darts or you're playing darts, the only thing you should be allowed to drink is beer, because I'll tell you what, I'll be in a bar and I'll get
it's a pub game, isn't
it? I'll absolutely be playing what's called cricket in for darts. So it's you count, you close all the numbers and you count up to 300.
Yeah.
So I'll absolutely be playing cricket in the bar, and if I'm lubed up just enough, or I've had just enough beer, I'll hit everything. I'll go up against the pros.
Just the zone.
You're in the zone. You have just enough alcohol in you where you're loose enough, but you're lucid enough to get the bullseyes and the triple 20s and all that.
And it was the same with snooker. I don't know about Paul over there, but it was the same with snooker. They used to sit there and they would drink, spirits and beers and whatever. and they would be smoking 20 cigarettes, and it was just like they were in the pub or in the snooker rooms. That is all totally gone. I used to play pool.
Over here, we play 8-ball.
Yeah, well, 8-ball. And you'd have a couple of beers, and it loosens you up, like you say. It loosens you up, and it loosens you to that extent where you focus right. You're relaxing when you're taking a shot.
Yep.
But you are still focused.
I'd rather kill zombies. I honest. I don't know. We all have our own sports. All right, listen, folks. We're gonna take a very quick break here. We'll play a couple of commercials for you, and when we come back, we're gonna talk about the Tide Pod Challenge, and we're also gonna talk about Netflix. Netflix and chill.
I don't know about Netflix and chill, but I have something to talk about with Netflix.
I know you do. I'm just trying to find where the fuck is everything. All right, we'll be back.
Hey guys, you guessed it, Al the announcer here. Got something to say to us? No problem. Give us a call on the Cave Hotline and leave us a message. 209-315-5551. That's right. 209-315-5551. Cave Crew Radio. We want to hear from you.
Well, hello, ladies and the gentlemen, and cave dwellers in general. This is Choo Choo Stu, and I'm deep in the hallows of London, England. I want you lot to stop taking a piss and join the Cave Crew Radio Facebook group, please. And while you're at it, look us up on the Twitter as well. It's not rocket science, it's actually quite easy. Just search Cave Crew Radio. Also, have you got a bit of spare change in your wallet or in your bank? Because we could do with $5. It's easy on PayPal. Just go on to radio.com and chuck some money in the tip jar. It helps keeping the dream alive, sockcuckers. So don't be silly and take the mic. Cavecrewradio.com. Fuckers.
All right, we're back. You're listening to Cave Crew Radio, which, by the way, is now on Spotify. And I don't know about you guys, but I had someone tell me the other day that, hey, DK, and I go, oh, I thought you didn't listen to the show. And they're like, yeah. I only listen on Spotify, and now we're on Spotify. We're also on the Mile High Radio Network. If you're listening on there, hello. The I-95 Sports Network, hello. The Podcast Radio Network's back up and going. Good to have you back. Hello, everybody. And, of course, everywhere else. Good podcasts can be found. Our latest edition is Player FM. It's one of my favorites, too. I like to get my podcasts from Player FM. It's real easy to download and find shows. And by the way, folks, I do have a guest announcement. Once Big B enters the fray again. So we're going to hear about Stu's. We're just waiting for Big B. I know you went on another garbage hunt this week, Stu. We're going to talk about that show. Oh, here he comes. It looks like he's ready to throw darts. Ladies and gentlemen, back to the fold. Big B. So
I am here.
I'm just lining things up here, Big B, for the remainder of the show.
Mm-hmm.
We do have we want to talk about the Tide Pod Challenge. We'll do that in a few. Stu does have another a treasure find.
Great.
We're going to go to you first.
Okay.
And then it's Stu's turn tonight to play Would You Rather.
Right on.
So we did that last show. But we have a special guest, our first guest of 2018, coming up next week on the show. You might be able to shed some more light on this, but he is he's an author, and he's a paranormal researcher in the New York area.
Yep.
Mr. Jason Medina is going to join us on the show. Can you shed a little more light? Or
yeah, he's a good friend of producer Al, and he's a ghost hunter. Basically, he's a retired NYPD police officer, and now he focuses his efforts on being a ghost hunter and being an author. He's published a few books already, and they all take place like in asylums or something like that, and it's all about ghosts and whatnot. So his latest book, the Manhattanville Project, just came out, so he'll be on next week to talk about his book, prior books, and his ghost hunting.
And you know me, I'm a little bit of a skeptic, but always fascinated. I can swear I've been seeing shadow people. I don't know if it's because I'm sick or what, but I'm excited about Jason coming on the show.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm a complete skeptic. I don't believe in any of that crap, but Jason's a good dude. So yeah, we'll definitely have some fun with him on.
We'll talk to him. He might tell us, a little bit about
he's a good dude.
The police force. Excuse me again, folks. I got lupus. So anyway, yeah, Jason Medina next week on the show. Who knows? He might even give away a book.
We never know.
Never know. All right, Big B, before we go into any of our other stories, you want to talk about Netflix and algorithms. And I pulled up a story because the way you sent this to me was, guys, you've got to Google Ruby Ridge.
Mm-hmm.
Now, from what I understand, I don't know a whole lot about it, and you'll enlighten us, of course, but it was a site of an 11-day siege in Idaho. Something about, the guy was illegally carrying guns or firearms or whatever, and he had small children.
Mm-hmm.
There was a standoff. So how does this lead into your Netflix and chill? Maybe this will be a regular segment, Netflix and chill.
Well, this definitely wasn't Netflix and chill. Like I didn't have anybody, with my wife was at work. I'm not having an extramarital affair. It was just me sitting here watching Netflix.
Chilling.
Okay. If you want to do it that way, sure. I was sitting here watching Netflix, chilling. And what I like to watch on Netflix is a lot of either documentaries or true crime stuff.
Okay.
Like I'm big into the Investigation Discovery Channel with, true crime and murders and all that stuff. And, or documentaries. Like I watched the Doors documentary. I've watched, Lock Up. I've watched, various other documentaries. So what came on, when I was flipping through Netflix, for suggestions, it said, Ruby Ridge. It's like, oh, okay. Let me watch. I've heard about it. I know about it. Let me watch the actual documentary on it. So I watched the documentary, and for those who don't know what Ruby Ridge is, yes, it was a standoff. There's a family in the mountains in Idaho that I guess they were considered a militia. They were armed to the teeth for the coming race war, whatever it was. Much like that always happens, just like Waco or whatever, ATF and the government gets involved. There's a standoff. The government officials, whether it's I don't remember if it was ATF or somebody else, FBI, whatever, shot and killed the wife of one of the people in Ruby Ridge. So thus led to this massive standoff. And when it all came down, there was court proceedings and whatnot, and they were found to be innocent. The people up at Ruby Ridge were found to be innocent. The government was found to be liable for the murder of the dude's wife. So that's it in a basic nutshell. That's why I asked you guys to just familiarize yourself with it, so you know what we're talking about, right? So you know what kind of documentary this is. This is guns. This is militia. This is right wing stuff going on. That's what I watched. Okay. So Netflix has an algorithm that, based upon what you watch, they suggest movies to you. Now, I don't know. You guys have Netflix. You've seen this before.
Yeah, I don't do a lot of Netflix, but we'll talk about algorithms. Yeah.
Okay, so they have an algorithm based upon your viewing history. They suggest movies that you may be interested in. So I'm flipping down the categories of Netflix, and they got TV crime dramas, docuseries, documentaries, true crime. And then they come to a category that says, because you watched Ruby Ridge. So that's the main algorithm. Because I watched Ruby Ridge, the documentary.
Yeah, I remember that on Netflix.
Right. They'll suggest a bunch of movies or a bunch of documentaries or movies, whatnot. Like there was something for the KKK, something for Waco, something for Oklahoma City bombing, some movies or whatever. And as I'm flipping through, I was like, oh, okay, this might be interesting. This might be interesting. What the hell is this? Of all these things. So because I watched Ruby Ridge, and I just described to you what Ruby Ridge was. It was a malicious standoff with the U.S. government. It's a true life thing that happened in Idaho. And again, my suggestions are like the history of the KKK, the Oklahoma City bombing, various other terrorist things or murder things. And right smack dab in the middle of this is the Santa Claus.
With Tim Allen.
With Tim Allen. Yes, the Santa Claus. Because I watched Ruby Ridge, you might be interested in the Santa Claus.
Tim Allen was or is in some ways a vigilante.
How?
Well, he was arrested for pot possession, or
it was in 1972 or whatever it was. Because I watched Ruby Ridge, I may want to watch the Santa Claus. I don't know if Santa Claus is arming himself and getting the elves to form a militia. I don't know what this has to do with Ruby Ridge.
Well, there is one of the Santa Clauses where the I don't know if it's Jack Frost or whoever it is, and there's that robot Santa that's actually Tim Allen, and they revolt.
But that's not this. Now I'm going to show the camera the picture, and I don't know if you can see it, but you're going to see it right there.
Yeah, I see Santa Claus.
Because you watched Ruby Ridge, it's the Santa Claus.
Maybe that was their
algorithm does Netflix have where they associate Ruby Ridge, the KKK, the Oklahoma City bombing, and the Santa Claus?
Maybe it's their wild card or something.
Now, listen, we're dealing with millennials now, right? So I'm quite sure there's a lot of liberals out there that believe that Santa Claus is absolutely evil.
It wasn't even bad Santa.
No, yeah, it wasn't even bad Santa. Like, something to that effect. Like, at least bad Santa was a drunk and, this dude that was robbing fucking a mall. No, it's the Santa where Tim Allen turns into literally Santa Claus.
Right. But in a way, think about it. Think about it for a minute. In a way, no one believed him. Everyone was against him. He had to save Christmas. He had to decide if he wanted to go to the North Pole or not.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's along the same, algorithms are very smart.
Right, because I can see how the similarities of him going to the North Pole and people not believing that he's Santa Claus to an armed militia family that wanted to kill government officials. Yes, I can see that. That makes perfect sense.
Think about the original Santa Claus story, the way back to the one with the puppets, with the Burgermeister.
Mm-hmm.
And Kris Kringle was considered a villain, and he had to sneak down people's chimneys to give toys to the little kids in, I believe it was Germany, because the Burgermeister banned all the toys. The algorithm kind of follows.
So I guess maybe instead of coming down the chimney to give toys, he was giving ammunition. He was giving boxes of shotgun shells and whatnot. Is that what we're talking about? Because I don't see how, because I watched Ruby Ridge. Here, hey, maybe you'd be interested in the Santa Claus.
Well, look, maybe they're saying, dude, you need to lighten up. You need to lighten up a little bit and get a little bit of laughter and a little bit of love in your heart.
Maybe that's it.
I have no idea.
I just found that incredibly odd.
Do you want to chime in on that, Stu?
What you have to watch as well with these algorithms is like when you have Netflix, and you need to have each family member assign their own login on it. And I think you can do that. The last time I had Netflix, you could. So I'd set one for the kids, one for my wife, and one for myself, because I want them to know what you've just watched and suggest films along those bases. So when the kids sort of go on to put their Disney cartoons on or whatever it is, they don't want to be, not that I watch that much on Netflix, but so those algorithms can work in the wrong way.
My wife recently watched that 50 Shades of, I have no idea what the 50 Shades is. I imagine the algorithm on that would be something like, Tommy Lee and what's her name on the boat?
Pamela Anderson.
or China as a Green Hulk.
Well, see, that's the thing. In my house, nobody watches Netflix but me. My son watches those shitty YouTube videos all day long. My wife actually just prefers watching the Science Channel because she likes all that shit. I'm the one who watches Netflix, and especially now that I have all this time on my hands, that's all I'm doing is watching documentaries. And the stuff that I'm into is true crime, and like I said, true crime, murder, whatever, stuff like that. So where the Santa Claus comes from, I don't know, because I don't watch anything else.
You should watch it. Give it a chance.
Because I watched Ruby Ridge, I should watch the Santa Claus to make myself feel better, I guess.
So did you actually click on it?
No, I did not.
It was not a bad series, the Santa Claus. I don't know. Hey, did you hear Murphy Brown is coming back? I fucking hated that show.
So if Hollywood isn't making it obvious enough that they have no ideas, no original thoughts in their stupid fucking brains at all, they're bringing back Murphy Brown. They're bringing back some other show with Deborah Messing in it. I forget what the fuck it was called. They're bringing back a couple other shows. Just because they have no fucking original thoughts in their mind. That's why they remake films over and over and over again.
No creativity.
None whatsoever.
Let's skip over to algorithms for a minute, though, because when you originally brought this subject to me, I have this real hatred of algorithms, because no matter where I go, I notice on my phone, on my computer, it doesn't matter if I'm reading a news article. I bet you if I clicked on one right now, we'd all have different advertisements. And because of the show, sometimes we look at bizarre things.
Right.
I get all these fucking ridiculous ads coming up in my Facebook. Russian wives.
Yeah, I get that quite a lot. Yeah, Russian wives.
The monthly butt plug club. In all reality, I have no interest in this. I remember I Googled these copper pans I ended up getting them for Christmas. I haven't used them yet, but I got the Copper Chef pans. everywhere I go now, they're trying to sell me the damn Copper Chef pants. I've already got them, for fuck's sakes. These algorithms, like my phone connects to my computer, I swear to God, they're watching.
It's all Google, isn't it? It's all Google.
Yeah, but how are they watching us? Like what I do on my phone and what I do on my computer, you know, like
I will. Do you really want to know? I will tell you. It's all what's called cookie tracking. When you go on a site, whether it be on your mobile phone, your desktop, your laptop, whatever it is, you've left a cookie, or a cookie is placed on your account.
Like Stu leaves for Santa Claus.
Right. So what a cookie is just basically a piece of code that says you've been there. This is what you've looked at. And when you go back to that site, they'll bring up those things, right? But so what cookie tracking is like all these social media places. They'll either buy this information from these third parties, or they have cookie tracking software, which will read the cookies as you go on. They'll read all your previous cookies and say, oh, this is what you're interested in. These are the ads I'm going to serve to you. And that's how they make money. So when you're looking at Facebook, yeah, they may charge you like $5 to promote a post, but that's not how they make money. How they make money is through the tracking. So when they have their cookie tracker on and DK or Stu, you go on to Facebook because you've been looking at fucking sex robots for the show. That cookie is placed on the server, and they read that and say, "Oh, well, you must be interested in sex robots. Here's a sale going on from Sex Robots R Us. If you want to buy it, click on this link," and that's how they make their money.
Midget tossing gangbang.
Whatever it is, they'll find a site, serve an ad to you. Now, if you click on that ad and make a purchase, that's how they make money. That's how they make most of their money, through people clicking on ads within their website.
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, folks.
Yep.
Stu.
Yeah.
What pops up in your algorithms? Maybe true.
Well,
I'm curious.
No, it's quite boring, but I remember the last thing that constantly popping up was a lawnmower, because I was checking out lawnmowers, and then the next time I go on a computer, everywhere I look, they're advertising lawnmowers. Bought it. You're too late. But
it's like the Truman Show. I'm telling you.
You don't know half of the things that go on behind the scenes as you're on various websites. I worked for a marketing company. So I understand, they're when merchants, they have these the pixels that are placed, the tracking pixels, and they read the cookies and all. There's a whole lot of shit that goes on the back end that you have no idea. You can't see it, you can't feel it, you can't touch it, but that's how those ads are served to you.
Right.
But if you go incognito, can they still tell? Can they still tell what you've been looking for or shopping for?
In a what do you call it? Disguise your VPN or whatever.
Well, yeah, if you're going on a different VPN or whatnot, there are ways to disguise it. But if you just open a browser incognito, not so much, because you still have those cookies there. That's just
I'm telling
your username.
I'm going to be brutally honest with you. If my wife ever opened up my laptop with the shit we talk about on this show, she would divorce me with the fucking sidebars and ads that come up. I'll be reading a daily Christian devotional, and portable vaginas will in the middle of it. It's like Google has no. Anyway, let's move on from algorithms. Stu, you went to your mom's today. You had some cleaning up to do.
I did, yeah. No, I said to her I'd clear out a garage or attempt to make a start at clearing out her garage and just take a few things down the tip for her, you know, down the old rubbish dump.
What's the tip?
Well, the rubbish dump.
The rubbish dump is called the tip. Okay.
Yeah, down the tip. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, is this a physical place? Like what?
Yeah, I mean they're not as exciting as they used to be, but they're all organised into different sections now.
When was the dump ever, or the tip ever exciting?
It's the same. I'll tell you what was exciting: the scrapyard for cars. Yeah, and if I wanted a bulb for my car or a new gear stick knob or something like that, me and my brother would go to the scrapyard, and then you would just be allowed to walk in there, and the cars were stacked 5 or 6 high, and you say, "Look, there's the same cars I've got, 6 high," and we would climb up, get in the car with our screwdrivers and a couple of wrenches in our pocket, and we would strip out whatever we needed for the car, for the job, you know, be it a brake caliper or a light bulb or something like that, and you get it. But it's the same with the tip. You used to go, "Oh, God, look at that. There's a bike there. We're climbing and get it." But now they're all into sections. There's wood, there's paper, there's textiles, and never the twain should meet each other, you know? So, and
Never
usually,
the twain should meet.
and like my rubbish dump, I mean, this one was a pleasure to go in, because our one, you got like these guys looking at you, and they're staring in case you put the wrong thing in the wrong section. But this one today, the guy had come out, and I went, "All right, mate, how you doing?" I said, "Look, I've got these coat hangers. Where do they go?" Because they're plastic with metal hooks, so it's a bit, you know, you're not sure where to put them. He goes, "I'll just put them in with the scrap metal because they've got metal on them." Fair enough. And he was chewing as he come out. He was just wanting to go back and finish his dinner.
Is it the Yorkshire pudding?
Yeah.
Oh, your stories are the best. Duke.
So anyway, this was. I mean, I'm going to be going back there next week, but
yeah, but
so I had. Wait, I had something like I can't remember what it was. It might have been a DVD player or something like that. It was old, and I just said to him, "Where shall I stick this, mate?" He went, "Oh, you can stick that round the back. There's like a little shed around the back where full of shelves and that, and it's like for stuff that could be reused." So I went round. I had a carrier bag full of stuff. Well, anyway, my eyes lit up when I went into this little shed.
Jesus. My eyes lit up when I went into a shed in the
dump. Boom, boom, boom.
Shall I show you what I got?
Please. Wait, I have to pull up your camera. Hold on.
1 second. Hold on.
I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see what Stu pulled from a shed in the dump. Was it the movie The Santa Claus?
Here we go.
Right. It's a plastic
case.
Oh, another case. We love these magical cases.
It's a mystery case.
A drill.
And it works.
And it works.
Now, is it just a battery, or do you have the charger in case it runs out?
No, I've got the charger over there. It's plugged in. I've even got brand new drill bits in it.
And we'll just bring this to the shed at the tip.
Yeah.
So this is something somebody threw away.
Yeah, but it's like, it smells like burning motors. No, it doesn't. It smells quite new.
Needs a little oil.
But somebody threw this away, right? That's how it ended up in the shed, because somebody threw it away.
Yeah. It's brand. Look at that. Look.
So you know, Big D, there is a show on like A&E where they go in and they raid dumpsters or whatever, and treasures are to be found.
But when I told my wife, she did look a little bit. She had disappointment in her eyes.
Like she probably like, "You're so ghetto."
Stu, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How long have you been going to the dump? Have you been doing it like your whole life, or did you just pick it up at some point? How long have you been doing this?
No, all my life. I mean, I like looking in dumpsters and things in people's gardens, and I just like getting stuff for free. I mean, once I was in my car coming home from work, and I see someone had a bicycle in their front garden. Please take me for free. So I slammed the brakes on, whacked it in reverse. I got the back seats down of the car in about 2 seconds. And within 35 seconds, I was away with this bike in the back of the car. But it's exciting. It's nice. It's for free.
We need to.
Do you ever have the urge as you're driving along and, getting stuff? It's always great to get stuff. We all love stuff. But you ever get the urge and you're driving along and you go, I really want to look in that bedroom window. And do you ever run out of the car and go, I just wonder what's in that window? It might be a dining room. It might be a naked lady showering. You never know what it's going to be.
We have a show, and DK, you might know this. It's on the History Channel. It's called American Pickers.
Yes.
I watch it.
Oh, you know too. Okay, Stu. So for those of you who don't know, just the premise is two guys from Iowa. They own an antique shop. They go across the country and visit, various people and try to, pick out their collections and whatnot to sell in their shop, right? Or to keep for themselves, whatever they're doing. It's all old stuff, signs and whatnot, knickknacks and all this other shit. Up to cars. I mean, they've gotten cars. DK, what we need to do is contact the producers of that show, and tell them about Stu.
Yes.
And send him, get a show where he goes not only in the UK, but he goes to America. He goes to Canada and visits the dumps and picks out the gems that are inside these dumps.
No one would be more entertaining on the television than Choo Choo Stu.
Nobody.
In a very gentle way that he tells the story of the gems he finds.
Absolutely. This is Choo Choo Stu is a star waiting to happen.
Yes.
All we need to do is contact the producers of, I think if we contact the History Channel or the producers of American Pickers, Stu right here is the next big thing.
And just so you know, to show you what kind of an American picker, garbage picker I am, is I own the rights to Choo Choo Stu. So half of everything comes back to me.
But at this day and age, people just chuck everything away. They throw everything away. If it's got a scratch on it or whatever. And where there's muck, there's brass, as they say, So,
and see, my wife, I'll be honest with you. I'm the same as you, because you're right. One person's junk is another person's gold, right? And I'll drive along and I'll see something and I'll go, oh man, that's really cool. You're not taking that. It's at the edge of the road, blah, blah, blah. So my wife won't allow me to do that. I have two buddies that every Saturday morning, they go out to garage sales, and I swear they find the coolest shit you'd ever want to find. Because I remember when the neighbor across the street, they ended up selling her house, the old lady across the street, and we went over there, and I bought a bedroom set for Jake for $100. This thing is more solid oak than you'll ever find in any store today. So I guess I'm guilty of it too. I'm not quite as active as you, but we do need to get Stu out there. He's got a what do you call it? Dash cam now, Big B. If turn the fucker on and film shit for us, this would help build the network. This would build advertisers, and people want to see this on the Cave Crew Radio Facebook page, Stu.
I don't know if I told you, I drove past this house and it had a load of decking, you know, like the wood for the decking out the front. So I went back there about an hour later and I said to the guy, you throw that decking away, mate? And he went, well, you'd be doing me a favour if you want to take it. So I went back, but to be honest, it was too much work involved because the lengths of the wood were far longer than my car. And it would have meant cutting them up out in the street and stuff. So I ended up leaving it. But there would have been some lovely decking there. And again, they were replacing it.
That shit happens all the time. I remember Jake. He's like 13 now. So we had this big treehouse climbing thing in the back. And the guy across the street had little grandchildren. And I said, listen, if you take this, it's yours. Yeah. I probably spent $600-700 on it. I just wanted it out of my yard. And then I remember, like, even plants and shit. I remember one time I was visiting one of my sisters. Oh yeah, these plants are too. I'm like, oh shit, they'd be perfect in the backyard. That's what I mean. Like, what one person moves on from, it is another person's.
I'm sitting here on a solid oak table, right? It's a really, really nice table. And it was brand new when we brought it, but it might as well have come from a dump. Do you know why? Because she has covered it with a tablecloth ever since we've had it. So what's the point? You're protecting a table. Right? We're protecting this table.
So wait a minute.
From what?
You're not sitting on a chair.
Well, I'm sitting on a chair at the table. Sorry, I'm not sitting on a table.
On a table.
But I might as well be sitting.
You're levitating in the air right now. You're sitting on a table.
I have a question.
Can you not find an office chair somewhere in your hunt?
Believe you me.
He's looking. I have a question for you, Stu.
Yeah.
In your travels, when you're looking at dumps and looking at people's garbage, is there actual competition? Like, is there a lot of people doing this?
No, because you're in my local one in the dump, you're not allowed to take stuff. They tell you, no, you can't take it because it's like in the olden days, you could take it. You're doing them a favor. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, they say as soon as it's out the car, it's ours. So, like I've said to a bloke before, well, you're not throwing that bike away, are you? He said, yeah. No. I said, there's nothing wrong with it, mate. It just needs tyres pumped up or whatever. And then I've had the bloke come over. No, you can't have it. And I said to the bloke, well, leave it in your car and go around the corner and I'll take it off you. Give it to a kid or something. You know what I mean? Give it to one of my kids' friends who hasn't got a bike.
But there's not a lot of, like, when you're going to the dump to look for stuff, there's not a lot of people there, right?
To steal junk.
No, but they've caught on. The joy has gone out of the dumps, like in my area, because, like I said before, we've got a shop. So they keep the cream for themselves and sell it on.
Wow. So also an actual dump store,
pawn shop or something, or
no, it's a dump shop. I mean, it's only cheap stuff. That's where I got that. Did I show you the car valeting kit that I got for like £3 or something, £3, and where I had that nice case.
Oh yeah, that was the first case.
You pulled out more magic cases than fuck. All right, listen.
But I think you guys should try it. See what you can get. Let's
move on. We fully encourage you. As much as Big B and I love the allotment, you should also consider doing a British tour, because Big B and I don't want to see the London Bridge. We don't want to see Stonehenge. We could care less about Robin Hood. We want to go garbage picking at the tip into the allotment.
That's why I always said he needs a GoPro strapped to him just for one day, so we could see a day in the life of Choo Choo Stu.
Just refurbish a double-decker bus and say, this is the true London Adventure Tour. Never mind Big Ben. Who cares what the Queen's doing? Waddling her hand up in the air, whatever. Go on the Choo Choo Stu bus, and you will see the heart. You go jelly eel fishing, and stop for some fish and chips at the pub, and meet Toothless Bill, and off to the allotment, off to pick garbage. I think it would be a great day. I'd definitely pay £50 for. I think you'd be all right, guys. This was sitting last week, and we never did the show. We really, really, really need to talk about this. Apparently, and this was a meme, whatever you call it. It came out in 2013. And now there are actually children, people, millennials, whatever they are, taking what is called a Tide Pod Challenge. Now, when I was a kid and I swore, I remember one time, I was probably like 7. My mother did indeed wash my mouth out with soap. It tasted terrible. And God rest her soul, I still have a pretty foul mouth.
Right.
What in stupidity, in any kind of sense, is causing people to eat these fucking things? And we're not talking, protect your little 2-year-olds, put locks on the cupboards, make sure everything's put up safe. We're talking young adults eating locks.
And who started it? Who started doing it?
Well, there was a meme, I guess, or meme or whatever they call it in 2013. And obviously this is what these kids do is they find these things. They they're like time capsules from the past or something. I don't know. And one kid does it and the rest have to follow.
But like I say, it's not just kids doing it, it's adults doing it.
Well, it's mainly like millennials doing it, right? Because that's who does these dumb shit things. It started from it may have started earlier than this, but from what I remember, it started with the cinnamon challenge. Now, if anybody who doesn't know what the cinnamon challenge is, they take cinnamon, not cinnamon sugar, but just pure cinnamon, put it on a spoon and eat it. The thing is that, thickens your airways and everything. It could kill you. You're not supposed to eat raw cinnamon.
You choke.
You choke, yeah, basically. So that's where all these challenges started. It got.
Wouldn't you go back to when they used to put a rope around their throat and masturbate?
Well, that's the dude from In Excess and the dude from fucking Kung Fu.
Yeah,
how they died.
Yeah. What's his name? David Carradine.
David Carradine. That's how David Carradine died. He had a fucking rope tied around his neck in his closet because he was jerking off.
I think I'll make a better orgasm this way.
Right. Well, the dude from In Excess too, Hutchinson, whatever the fuck his name was.
Yeah.
He did the same shit.
Michael Hutchins.
So what was his name?
Back to the soap.
Michael Hutchins.
Michael Hutchins, yes. So anyway, so I guess that's, to me, that's where all these challenges started. It may have started before, but to me, the cinnamon challenge is where it started. You have these variations of different challenges. The most famous one, I think, is the ice bucket challenge, which didn't hurt anybody. They would just
you know what? That actually, I have no idea where the money actually went. But I mean,
I don't know where the money actually went either. But that wasn't a dangerous thing.
Locally, local people would do that, and they'd say, "I challenge. I dump ice on my head, and I challenge Brian." No one's getting hurt by that, unless the ice is sharp.
Right. No one's getting hurt by that. But then fast forward to this year, and I guess and the only people that are doing this are these stupid fucking retarded millennials.
Yeah.
They're taking the Tide Pod Challenge. Now the object is the detergent Tide. They have these pods that you throw in the washer. The wrapping dissolves, the detergents are released, and they wash your clothes. There it is. It's brought up on Cave Crew. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see it. Tide Pod Challenge. Those are Tide Pods. What these dumbasses are doing are taking it and biting into it and eating the detergent.
Right.
The detergent is poison.
Yes.
But then again, I look at it as it's natural selection taking its course. So please, all of you stupid fucking millennials, eat as many Tide Pods as you want. I'll provide, if you want to dip them in ketchup, if you want some mayonnaise on them, I'll give you some salt and pepper. Eat as many Tide Pods as you want. Kill yourselves and let us live a millennial-free life.
And it's not like they're getting high on it or anything, is it?
No, they're just fucking idiots.
You know what? I remember like when we were kids, there was my one neighbor. He got us all to sniff gasoline.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have gasoline for the lawnmower.
Right.
It's really cool. We probably did some stupid shit too. We sniffed like that rubber glue.
Yeah.
Well, I knew somebody that I guess
never put fucking poison in my mouth.
I knew somebody that and you guys should have had these back in the 80s. They were the blue kind of ice packs that if you pop them, they turn cold. It had a liquid in it.
Right. Yes. They still
you didn't have to freeze them. You just pop them. You just take them out. And you crack them, and then
we still have them in our first aid kits.
Okay. Yeah. So it's the same. It's the same thing. I had one kid in my little league that drank one, that went to the hospital and was almost poisoned to death. And that's basically the same thing as what this is. You're eating detergent. This is poison. This is stuff that takes. If you shit on yourself, it removes the shit stains. And you're eating this. If you please continue, I hope you all fucking die from it.
And then there was one kid that was smoking it.
Well, yeah, and that's the part 2 of the Tide Pod Challenge is now they're smoking it. So now they cut it open. They light up their bong. They get it. They get the whatever it is, the piece nice and hot. They pour the liquid on it and they smoke the Tide detergent.
No sense.
No sense. What they are fucking stupid. And please, I'll say it over and over again. Eat or smoke as many as you want. Please fucking kill yourselves so we can live a millennial free life.
Yes. If you're that
fucking stupid, you deserve to die from eating a detergent.
All right, listen. I do have one story. I'm trying to watch the clock because I want to go to Stu for Would You Rather to close things out here.
Oh, I can't wait.
Dave the Clone from the Hollow 9 Network, the guy that does Tangent City.
Yep.
That I'm acting in.
And I'm still available for, just saying.
Listen, Dave, Big B, Choo Choo Stu. If you need some characters from my guy to kill or something.
I'm just saying, I'm available.
I know. Hey, I've told him. Anyway, he posted this, and I was thinking, there's really no good stories out there, but I saw this, and it really caught my eye. It comes from rawstory.com.
Mm-hmm.
And the headline reads, Tennessee man flips car 5 times after letting Jesus take the wheel. A Tennessee man told police this week that Jesus personally came to him and told him, let me take the wheel and drive on your behalf. The result is that his car veered off the highway and then flipped over 5 times. Tennessee Highway Patrol officers say that when they arrived on the scene, 33-year-old Chad England was speaking gibberish. Kind of like
he was.
What are those people? Fuck, it's not coming to me. It starts with a P. It's a church.
Presbyterian?
No, fucking.
No.
It'll come to me. Police say that England was obviously under the influence of drugs at the time of the crash, perhaps Tide Pods, although the man apparently refused to take a blood test. The search of his car revealed 6 grams of marijuana, 6 grams of cocaine, a pipe, rolling papers, and 3/4 of an empty bottle of Crown Royal.
Nice.
Police arrested him and charged him, among other things, with DUI, felony possession of a Schedule II for resale, possession of blah, 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 blah. Now, listen, I pray. I'm a guy that carries baggage and I pray. But I'm not ever driving down the highway and literally saying, Jesus, take the wheel.
Now, was he maybe listening to the Carrie Underwood song and taking it literally? Jesus, take the wheel, please. I don't want to do this anymore.
I don't have that to play. I just thought that story was extremely, but could you, seriously, God, I'm a little drowsy. It's a long drive. Keep the family safe, and I'm going to let go.
As long as no one else was hurt. Yeah.
I guess, the Lord does say that the path is very narrow and bumpy.
Especially if you let Jesus take the wheel. Apparently, Jesus can't drive for shit.
Well, do you think he should have slowed down a little bit and let
us back then?
Jesus can apparently turn fucking, fish into bread or whatever the fuck he turned into. He can turn water into wine, but he can't drive on the fucking highway for shit.
There was no cars back then. He learned how to walk over water.
Fuck that. If you can walk on water, you can drive a car.
I don't know.
But maybe he should have just started off slowly, like, 10, 20 miles an hour. I mean, this guy must have been doing 120.
Should Jesus have taken driving lessons? Maybe.
I think so.
Maybe he should have gone to the DMV and gotten his license.
That's probably what the guy thought. He goes, I'm late. I need to get somewhere. And Jesus take the wheel, took his hands off the wheel and hit the gas pedal. And he was probably driving. Where was the fucker from? Tennessee. It's all fucking mountains. Have you ever done the I-75 in Tennessee?
I have not.
They've got those fucking ramps where the trucks pull off.
Oh my God. I just think if Jesus would have gone to driving school, taken his 5-hour class, the 5-hour defensive driving class, I think this dude would have been fine. I think Jesus is at fault because he can't fucking drive for shit and doesn't have a driver's license.
I don't think he's at fault. What I think is he's busy with all the other shit that's going on in the world. And he doesn't have a second to take your fucking steering wheel. He'll heal you. He'll help you financially. He'll guide you on the right path. But you don't just say, can you drive, Lord?
Because he can't. He can't fucking drive. Everybody has a fault. That's his. Jesus can't fucking drive. Maybe he had a stick shift and couldn't figure out how to fucking shift from first gear to second gear.
I don't know. All right, listen, we're running out of time. It's time to play Would You Rather. This week, it's Choo Choo Stu's turn. Stu, are you ready? We're going to ask you a series of short questions. And don't think about them. Just whatever comes into your head.
Okay.
Would you rather be forced to wear wet socks for the rest of your life or allowed to wash your hair only once a year? Well, that's no good. He's got no hair.
He's got no hair. That's a
I've
question
got
for
some
me.
hair. I've got a full head of hair. It's just I keep it at bay. I keep it short.
It's just on your pillowcase.
Yeah, I'll do the washing the hair bit. I think.
So you'd hate wet socks.
There's nothing worse, is there?
Would you rather have a finger as a tongue or have tongues as fingers?
Oh my God. A finger as a tongue. I can see lots of uses for a finger as a tongue. And sorry, a tongue as a finger. A tongue as a finger. Wait, hold on.
Have so your tongue would be a finger.
But would all my fingers be tongues?
Yes. You would either have your fingers as tongues or your tongue as a finger.
Now, Stu, keep in mind, you work in the subway. If you have fingers as tongues, you taste everything that's in the subway.
Yes.
I would have my tongue as a finger.
Okay. Imagine that, ladies and gentlemen.
That's all I'm imagining.
I think Stu's already tried that once.
Choo Choo Stu. Would you rather shit bricks or puke slugs? Imagine the pain of that.
Well, I shit more than I puke. So I'll go with the slugs.
Oh, he'd puke slugs. That would be.
Yeah. That'd be quite nice, wouldn't it?
The nightmare of Stu telling us a story of the fucking thing going down to the crematorium.
If you actually puking slugs, you would end up actually puking a lot more because it would just.
That is true.
We have a couple more here. Would you rather pee yourself in public once a week or shit yourself private daily? Now, literally like shitting your pants.
And when you say you pee yourself in public, is that like everyone sees?
I imagine anyone that looks in that general direction.
Oh, I think I'd have to shit myself privately.
Really?
Just keep some clean clothes
Wow.
around.
Yeah.
Well, what would you do, Big B?
I would piss myself once a week. Why not? What am I going to show? If you shit yourself, it's all over your fucking underwear, your pants, your fucking. It's probably on your shirt, on your back. That's nasty. You just piss yourself.
Yeah, but I'd do it when I was at home, so I'd just quickly get changed and showered or whatever.
It just
again, there's still disease in there. That's urine is sterile.
Well, your urine is as dirty as shit.
No, urine is sterile. Shit is diseased.
We have to get a sign. Okay, couple more here. This one's a little easier for you. Would you always have to tell the truth or always lie?
I think, I'd have to always tell the truth, I think. Although probably always telling the truth gets you in a lot of trouble. Probably more than if you lie.
I always learned from my dad. A lie is something malicious, but there's a fib. And sometimes fibs protect people. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's a good one, Stu. Would you rather have your body found in a pile of sex toys or have everyone you know see your browsing history?
Can you say that again? What was the first one?
The first one is, would you rather have your body found in a pile of sex toys or would you rather have everyone you know see your browsing history? So I imagine that's if you die.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah. I'll let them see my browsing history.
Oh, my God. You're a brave man, Stu. Last one of the night before we go. Well, this is pretty cool. Would you rather be in a real life version of American Horror Story or be in a real life version of The Walking Dead?
Definitely The Walking Dead.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Fight the zombies.
That'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? Just for a couple of weeks.
I told you I'm playing this zombie game with Jake, and my finger hurt at the end, man. Like these things are fucking relentless.
But here's the one thing I never understood about zombies: if they're dead, how do you kill them? They're not alive.
You have to shoot them in the head.
But they're dead already.
I know, and if you shoot them anywhere else, they like regenerate and they come out. So you have to. And I was never a zombie fan until all of a sudden now my son is into zombies. So I'm sure we're going to be watching like Night of the Living Dead and all that shit. Because I've never been a zombie guy because those movies bore the shit out of me because they coming and coming and coming. You got to shoot them in the brain.
Right.
I was never into zombies until The Walking Dead, but I mean, even that's got a bit tiring now. But The Walking Dead, I'd love to live in that for a couple of weeks.
Fucking silly, man. I'm telling you. I got no energy to stay. It's not like hunting a fucking deer, Stu. You shoot it, and then okay, shoot it. Go make your tuna sandwich. Go to the tip. Do whatever you got to do. The next thing you know, the thing's back up, going.
I'll be in a little helicopter flying about. I'll be fine.
What do you call those? A drone.
Yeah.
You know, drones.
Yeah. No, they don't use their common sense a lot in these Walking Dead series and all these zombie series. Everyone drives about in an old battered car.
If you're brave enough to play Would You Rather, hit us up at cavecrewradio@gmail.com. We'd love to have you on. Actually, I think we should do that like on a regular basis. So when Jason comes on next week, we will ask him, would you rather?
Sure. I think he'd be up for it.
It's an ongoing thing. All right. Let's name the show. Big B's been doing a lot tonight. You got anything on there?
Me, I have the algorithm of the rubbish dump.
Algorithm of the rubbish dump. Along the same lines, I've got hitting big at the tip. Hitting big at the tip. In the chat room, they say Stu's Salvage Show. What do you say?
I've gone for something different. I've got Santa Claus's Militia.
Oh, I like that too. Okay, so now is the time we go around the room. You vote for your own, or you're going to change Big B.
I was gonna go with yours, but then I heard Stu's, and I really like that Santa Claus's Militia. I do like that.
Vote. I'm going to make it easy for you tonight. I do like hitting it big at the tip, but I do like Santa Claus's Militia. That should catch some ears. So unless you want to cast a vote against yourself, Stu.
No.
All right, kids. Santa Claus's Militia it is. Very informative And I know we haven't been on for a few weeks, but I think we packed a lot of good information into the show.
Sure.
And hopefully everyone learned something or was entertained. All right, Big B over at Metal Thunder Radio. Where can we find you?
Metal Thunder Radio live every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern right here on Cave Crew Radio, and repeated on Mile High Radio every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, as well as the podcast 1027 WSNR every Thursday night at 10.
Are you on the podcast network or no?
No, just 1027 WSNR.
All right. And of course, Cave Crew Radio is not live, but on repeat every Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern on the I-95 Sports Network, and Sundays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific on milehighradio.com. We are also on the Podcast Radio Network Saturday nights at 8 o'clock. And of course, live here Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern on cavecrewradio.com. And Stu, are you ready to spill the beans yet?
No. There's no beans being spilled.
No beans yet. Okay, Stu's chit-chatting with me about something he's gotten to work, and it's
nice.
It's not the pod train. He's working on something big, but you'll have to stay tuned. Next week, Jason Medina's on the show. Make sure you come back. And until we see you, share this with a friend. Make sure you go to the Facebook page, by the way. Great group of people over there. Well over 2,200 strong, and they have a lot of fun all week long. Until next time, we're out of here.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!